Loki, look what we got. Look what we got. It's the Halo. It's the Mr. Halo. It's just like the one that we have here. The one that you always fucking knock off.
I thought I was being cute yesterday using the learning of power clean as my pull for the end of the workout, and that was a terrible idea. Today, or at least on this workout, my back was way too sore to do my pendlay rows, so I had to look for alternatives. I decided right next to the platform there is this lying T-bar row, supports the upper body so I can still work the muscle without having to support my own body weight. It is surprisingly more difficult to do than the pendlay row, and I chalk that up to being a fact of a movement not being explosive. It's a dead hang and then I pull. And that's actually part of why I decided to do pendlay rows rather than a normal barbell row where I'm holding it at like knee height or so and then rowing it up to my body and then holding it at my knees again, because while that would probably be better for grip stamina, I don't think my back could withstand it in terms of like lower back support. So I thought I would build up a strength base on the pendlay rows and then start all over again with the barbell rows from the knee. I think this is probably the first time I'm doing a lat pull down in basically this phase of my life. I don't know what to call it. Since I've started doing these training videos anyway, it's the first time I've done a lat pull down, and it's certainly the first time I've done them this year. And it felt really weird. I didn't really do much time. I didn't spend a lot of time setting it up though, so maybe I have to put the seat a little bit lower. And I lost the first clip because trying to find a camera angle from the floor for a lat pull down, I just ended up shooting a clip of the ceiling. So, oops. So for bench today, I I felt really clean about pretty much all of the sets. It was a little, I don't know if I would say motivated by all the guys lifting 3 plates in the background or whatever, but I was like, oh, there are plenty of people I can ask for a spot. This is great. And then it turns out that they're like working in this super fast fashion or whatever. So it's like it looks like they're hanging out a lot, but they're all within a couple seconds of doing their next set. So when I eventually needed a spotter, none of them were available. So that was kind of unfortunate. I think I'm recording my commentary here several days after the fact. I think this workout was the 31st, and I'm recording this on the 4th. So I think that's probably the biggest drawback about benching every day is that I have so much footage to commentate over that I don't have the time every single day to knock out a recording. I have to find time in the morning during the weekend before work to try to get these done. So it's not a problem, but I would have liked to have stayed in step with my training videos. A lot of my volume that I got this week was at this weight, 95 pounds. It feels really good for me to be at 95, but I remember on this workout, it felt like a significant portion of what I'd be able to do this day. But once I got through the warm-up set at 95 and I started to approach the top set, I think this guy's name is Alex, and he's probably one of the most encouraging spotters I've had so far. I was worried about his how much help he was giving me, but I was looking at the video again, and it looks like he didn't touch as much as I thought he did. I found out that I'm stronger on my right side, so when I'm really like trying to push it out, it's my right side fires way more than my left side does. So I thought he was helping me on that side, but I guess it wasn't. And this is the first time I'm trying a drop set, so 95 felt good. And I was like, well, I'm probably going to not be able to lift tomorrow, so I should get some a little more volume in today. So I asked him for another spot.
Got her, man. It's too easy for me.
I haven't done a drop set yet, so I wasn't sure about it.
I
watched.
Nice.
It looked good.
It being the 31st, it's the last day that I have available for doing I think it was the 20 rep squat challenge. And according to all of the squats I was doing before, I should have been able to do a 135 for 20 reps, but my mind just wasn't there today. For that, I had to terminate the set at around 13 reps because I was getting a little lightheaded, and I think it was because the 120 on the bench press was not a proper training max. It was a 0 reps left in the tank set for me. It was a little bit of a grinder, and then I put in all that volume in on the drop set. I think I was just too taxed fundamentally to do the squat at the full number of reps that I should have been able to. Because before I was squatting and then overhead pressing and then squatting again for the 20 reps. And the pressing is so much easier objectively compared to benching, so that was a little frustrating. It was a little frustrating to realize when I was in the middle of the set. It's like, oh yeah, I'm probably more fatigued than I realized for this exercise, which was unfortunate because I probably would have just skipped it entirely if I had the sense, but I figured just because it was the day that it was, like, this is my last chance, I better at least try. And then my form was all jacked up because I haven't been squatting for the whole week and probably lost some gains or whatever. But I don't really care about my squat right now. I probably should, but I was trying something new. Like, I want to bench every single day this week, so I didn't want to have any confounding factors with my recovery. And unfortunately, I decided to do stupid shit yesterday and this training session. So the attempt to learn power cleans the day before this one, and then this attempt for way too many reps on squatting, and it looks painful on my wrists, but my wrists actually had no problem with this. I think it was because I was benching before this that I had the extra flexibility in my wrists. I think I got to get to the point where I can start doing some front squats, because I would like to squat a little bit less weight but still work on my quad development, and then maybe throw in some leg curls or something for my hamstrings. I don't think I have enough hamstring development, and eventually I'm going to start deadlifting, and that's going to help, but a hip hinge isn't explicitly the domain of the hamstrings, so I'm going to have to throw in some direct hamstring work. Every time you see me incline dumbbell press, you can tell I've got no hamstrings of value, so you can see it here, obviously. And I don't know why I keep wanting to throw these in. I think it's just like a comfort zone thing. I like incline dumbbell press. It feels so much better than a barbell dumbbell press. I wish I would have done these when I was a teenager instead of the barbell incline press and just learned to flat bench, because this combination feels like it's a better overall chest development combination. And I feel like, well, I think what it was is that I was incline barbell pressing for training economy, because I think for everything that you want to do, and I hit my ankle on the bench, I think for everything that you would want to do an incline barbell press for is better done by several other specific exercises for the things that it targets. So, like, if I had done, actually the full combination would be to do an overhead press, a flat bench, and the incline dumbbell press. So barbells for the first two, dumbbells for the last one. So you get the full extension overhead with the long head of the triceps, and then you get the overall chest development from the flat bench, and then you get that little bit extra volume on the upper chest from the dumbbell press, but then you also get an additional training at the bottom, additional volume for the stretch reflex at the bottom, because I can go so much lower than I can with a barbell, because It might look like it's the same depth, but my shoulders are actually significantly lower than my pecs are, especially when I arch the way that I do from my flat bench. And I'm slowly getting the hang of doing face pulls. I'm trying to keep these as high reps as possible because the rear and lateral delts are just more responsive to that modality of training, at least for me. I'm sure there's some literature that supports that, but I haven't looked into it. I just tried stuff out. I haven't done as many sets on face pulls here, just because I was going for those extra reps per set. And I think this is just better, not doing so many sets for my delts and trying to get the higher reps instead. I don't want to turn it into a power move. I'm not trying to like involve my back or try to like do a biceps curl or something. I just want to really suck back my shoulders essentially. And I feel like it's a good reminder at the end of the workout for bringing my shoulder blades together and feeling that compression at the back, like when I'm trying to set up for a bench. It's like a good way to train those muscles for when you're trying to brace at the back for a bench press. So I'm getting the hang of this movement, and I'll probably include it more often, but if I don't have time to do it, I probably won't do it. It's just a nice little finisher for me. So that's it for today. Thanks for hanging out.